Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Steven Russo.
I'm Anthony Gonzalez.
And we're fucking alive, guys. I promise. I promise you that we still do this. We just went... what were you going to say?
Listen, UFC went on break, we went on break.
And now we're back before the UFC. But, we took a break, too. Sometimes we all need to take a break. So, Pepsi hit us up. Mountain Dew is always enjoyable on a good break. So, Front Row Access 15, gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's all some rendition of Front Row Access. And we're not on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we're not on Facebook because, fuck Facebook. So.
Though you can find shit for cheap on their marketplace.
This is true. That's like the only reason why I use Facebook. I'm going to be completely and totally honest with you. All right, guys, but on to the point. Guys, today, it's that time of year again. For the fucking, what is this? We did one for, this is our third?
I want to say.
This is our third Front Row Access Awards for the UFC in the year 2025. 2025 in the UFC. I mean, it was a pretty good year. We had some notable retirements. That was a big theme this year. We had a lot of people retire. I mean, Jose Aldo hanging it up for good. Henry Cejudo hanging it up for good. Dustin Poirier.
Listen, we had some great retirements. We had some great fights. We had some great pay-per-views. And we got some great announcements towards the end, too.
Hell yeah. I mean, we had a couple of main events where it really shit the bed, but like the prelims always delivered.
I think I'm just very ecstatic that John Jones is no longer.
Oh yeah, we had John Jones retire this year too. Who else retired? Paul Craig retired. Jalen Turner retired and then came back.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck happened there, but that happened. But the big one this year obviously was Dustin Poirier. We had Dominic Cruz retire this year too.
King of Rio retired again.
Huh?
King of Rio retired again.
Yeah, Jose Aldo retired again. So, we had a couple of notable retirements, and that's only going to continue into 2026, I feel, because, we've been saying it for a few years now. The winds of change have definitely hit the UFC. The old guard is now starting to go away, like, for good now. So, there's a couple of other retirements I think are going to happen very soon, but let's not talk about the sadness this year. Let's talk about
the most important things that's happened.
Let's do it.
Fuck you, Jake Paul.
Yeah, fuck you, Jake Paul. I'm so glad you got knocked out.
I'm sorry, I just had to.
Yeah, fuck you, Jake Paul. Anyway, let's talk about our year in review, guys. We have a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories to go through. 10. I think that was 10. So, let's get into FRA awards for the year 2025, and, let's just get right into it. Our first category is going to be the New Blood of the Year or Rookie of the Year. So, we have a couple of good nominees on here. We have Michael Morales, came in, actually got a big win over Gilbert Burns, then he came in and got another big win over top contender in Sean Brady. So, definitely Michael Morales had a very big year. Part of the Fighting Nerds. Can't really go wrong with those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So,
there was that one night where they had like 3 losses, but aside from that, I mean, you're not gonna nail every shot.
It's true. But man, Michael Morales are you getting called?
No.
What is that vibration? Is that your Pokeball?
Something like that. My phone's just weird.
Nice. Anyway, moving on to our next category. It is Josh Van. I mean, the dude was very new this year, and now he's your sitting flyweight champion. So, I mean, that's going to be, that's something to behold, for sure.
Did anyone see that coming? Come on, guys, be honest.
I didn't see it coming at all. But this motherfucker saw opportunity, grabbed it by the balls, and said, this is how we're going to do it. And so, Josh Van, I put him in as New Blood of the Year. He's also going to show up later on in the program.
Yeah, we have contenders that reach and branch out through multiple categories. And if we've missed any, guys, you let us know.
Write down there in the comments. I read all of them, even the bad ones. So, matter of fact, the bad ones are my favorite. So, because that's just more engagement for me, motherfuckers. Anyway, we also have Carlos Prates on this list. I mean, it goes without saying, the dude fought like fucking 3 or 4 times this year.
I think it might have been 4.
I think it might have been 4 because
he wanted a 5th.
Yeah, he said he wanted a 5th, but
put me on December.
Yeah, and that was actually insane. So, Carlos Prates, he did pretty good this year. And I'm also going to say Rainer de Ritter. I mean, you don't take a win over Kevin Holland and Robert Whittaker in the same year and expect me not to put you on here, So, those are the nominees for the new blood of the year. And Anthony, who's your winner?
Morales for me.
And Michael Morales gets the FRA from Anthony. Let's give a round of applause.
Come on.
Excellent job for Michael Morales. Why'd you choose Michael Morales?
Honestly, he's just been impressing me, and I am excited to see where his career is going to go.
He's looking really promising at this current moment. But my FRA award, this is where we're going to differ. The FRA from me is actually going to go to Carlos Prates. Very good job, my friend. I appreciated the grit and the fucking just everything that this motherfucker did while he was going through this year. So I see this guy as having a bright future ahead of him. And just like Michael Morales, I got nothing against Morales. The reason why I put him in the nominee spot. But definitely.
Y'all know we love our active fighters.
We love the active fighters, and I love it when the fighters got the grit. So Carlos Prates is going to get my New Blood of the Year award. So a round of applause for all the nominees and for the winners. Michael Morales, Carlos Prates, good job. All right, moving on to our next category.
Well deserved all.
Very well deserved. You guys had excellent years, all of you. So very good job. And here we go. Breakout Fighter of the Year. This is a little bit different. This is about it sounds a little bit kind of like New Blood of the Year, but the thing with Breakout Fighter of the Year is I judge this by how big of a year you had. You know, your breakout fighter is different from your rookie fighter. Your rookie fighter could come in and he looks really good, but your breakout fighter is the person that might have been here before, but they actually, escalated to the next level this year. So that is what the category for breakout fighter is, at least over here at the Front Row Access podcast. So without further ado, let's get into these nominees. Breakout Fight of the Year. Our first one is Josh Van again, because holy fucking shit. Dude, you were just an unranked flyweight on the prelims fighting for rent, and now you're a world champion. So, I mean, that in 3 fights, you went from nothing to something. So, I mean, that's just, honest to God, impressive as shit. So, Josh Van is clearly going to be breakout fighter on this list. We also have Ian Gary, who actually had an excellent year despite losing at the tail end of 2024 to Shavkat Rakhmonov. The dude came back. He silenced Carlos Prates, and then he just beat Bilal Muhammad, who's the most recent, well, besides JDM, the most recent former welterweight champ. So, I mean, Ian Gary, this was a big rebuild year for him after taking his first loss back in December. But, I mean, even when that fight happened, I always said that Ian Gary, despite Ian Gary losing the fight, I feel like he looked better, towards the end of the day.
Definitely learned a lot.
He learned a lot, and boy, he came in with a friggin' mission, and he stuck to it. And the dude had a good year. I mean, and now he's probably a fight away, if not, should be next in line for the welterweight title. He already called his shot. He called out Islam Makhachev, our current welterweight champion now. So, I mean, he's definitely looking to speed up this process for himself a little bit. Let's see that crack. Damn.
It stuttered for a second.
It did stutter for a second, but after it cracked, that was pretty good. That's about an 8, 7,
It would have been a 9 if you didn't stutter, my guy. So you're down to 8.5.
So there we go. But Ian Gary had a really good year, and I wanted to mention it because I also really like Ian Gary. So
phenomenal fighter.
He's a great fighter, and I mean, he proved he could do it all. I mean, he's out here out-grappling Carlos Prates and then countering Bilal Muhammad and outstriking him. So,
he's always showing off his new skills. He's always anxious to adapt and evolve for his fights, and it's great to watch.
There is no Ian Gary hate over here at the Front Row Access podcast. Now, his personal life, I don't know much about it, so I don't try to look into it. But anyway, Ian Gary definitely deserved a spot in this breakout fighter list. Next up was Jack Della Maddalena. I'm going to be honest, the dude is coming fresh off 2 really good years. But he was a little inactive in 2024. He didn't fight. But he comes back as the most unlikely number 1 contender in the world. Like, he should not have been fighting for the welterweight championship back in May when he fought Bilal Muhammad. He shouldn't have been fighting for it. He really shouldn't have. But he was the only welterweight that Bilal hadn't fought on his way up that wasn't injured. Because if it wasn't for injury, Shavkat Rakhmonov probably would have been in that spot. But he's still recovering from that torn ACL, partial ACL tear. I'm expecting him to be back, I mean, probably spring to early summer this year. I'm expecting
March earliest.
Yeah, because he's not in any of the first couple of fight announcements, so I'm thinking he's still recovering. He'll probably be back like maybe March to like June. I'm expecting to see him.
Yeah, March earliest.
Yeah, so we'll be looking forward to it. But Jack Della Maddalena came in as like a good contender, but his last win was against, I think, Gilbert Burns. prior to this fight, and because he too got injured the end of last year, had to pull out. He wasn't active at all in 2024. So I mean, he comes in and he's the only guy that's off a win, and then he proceeds to have a really good fight with Bilal Muhammad, in which he looked like $1,000,000, and he was the most unlikely champion who became champion. So that was
Underdog.
he was a big time underdog story. It was like real life Rocky shit. I mean, Josh Van had a similar thing, but I think JDM was more of a underdog story
Listen,
than
I'm gonna say everyone, but just to be statistically accurate, I'm gonna say 98% of us didn't think he'd win that.
Van. No, I expected just a Bilal Muhammad snooze fest in that fight, and then we proceeded to have a really good fight in which JDM came out on top. So that
We're
was
just like,
what the fuck? Oh, what just happened? Why did they just have a banger? Anyway, so JDM definitely worth mentioning. I mean, obviously not the greatest close to the year, but you fucking fought Islam Makhachev. A motherfucker can lose to Islam Makhachev
hey,
and be
you
okay.
were a champion too.
I mean, he was a champion. Nobody can take that from him now. So I mean,
that guy wasn't.
oh yeah, he never was a champ, unfortunately.
It's like you take what you can, guy, and
Yeah.
you're a champion. No one can take that away from you.
You are in the history books. You are in the lineage of welterweight champions. So be proud of yourself, JDM. Come back stronger.
Yeah,
I have a strong feeling that you're going to have a pretty good 2026.
I was gonna say, can't wait for you to show back up too.
Anyway, our last nominee for Breakout Fight of the Year, honest to God, I haven't put him on any of our rankings so far, mostly because he's a bit of a clown and we don't really like him over here at Front Row Access Podcast, but I have to acknowledge it. It's Patty the Batty Pimblett. I mean, the dude he had an excellent victory over Bobby Green earlier in the year, in which he looked like $1,000,000.
Plus, we loved seeing Bobby Green King Green get beat up.
Yeah, we love seeing that. And then he also went and fought Michael Chandler and completely just destroyed Michael Chandler. So, I mean, game recognizes game. Even though we don't like this motherfucker much, we have to acknowledge when he does something really fucking cool, and he did something really fucking cool in becoming a contender.
It's not even that I don't like him, though.
Mm-hmm.
This next fight he has, that's what's going to be if I'm going to hop on the Patty wagon. It's this next fight. Everything before this,
meh.
It gave me credibility to the hype train that he had strapped to him.
Yep.
This is going to be the fight that tells me if I need to actually invest in wanting Patty to excel further.
For sure. And I'm kind of with you there. Because, I mean, this dude had a good performance against Michael Chandler back in April of 2025. And now, the dude's fighting for a lightweight championship. So, I mean, interim lightweight championship. But I don't care. You're fighting for the lightweight. You're fighting for a lightweight championship, which is insane. I still consider that a champion because you are the champion while the champ's away. You're the champ while the champ's away. Dustin Poirier was an interim champion. And I still kind of count it, you know? And, but, you know, Patty Pimblett, going from having two really good performances, and now he's fighting for a title against Justin Gaethje on the first Paramount card of the year, UFC 324, going down in Las Vegas. So, those are the nominees, guys, and my winner, and I think Anthony's winner as well. Just to verify, who's your winner here?
Joshua Van.
Josh Van, and that's mine too. Congratulations, Josh Van, for just being an absolute savage this year, because you were just incredible. You went from nothing to something in 3 fights, like I mentioned earlier. So you are our breakout fighter of the year. Everybody else had great years.
Oh yeah, they were all phenomenal.
All of them had great years, but the thing is, when you do something that drastic and you just seize the opportunity, I gotta respect it. So therefore, Joshua Van gets my breakout fight of the year and Anthony's breakout fight of the year. This is a rather uncontested position. Even before making the script for this podcast, not that we really have a script much, but like before making the list we already knew who our breakout fighter was gonna be. But I figured I'd look back and see who else had a really good year, just to really refresh my memory.
And in case you think someone else belongs on the list that we forgot to put on it, send us that email. We'll check them out.
FrontRowAccess15@gmail.com. Yeah, or just leave a comment. Either one works. But anyway, congratulations to Joshua Van. You had a great year. You went from unranked to champion in 1 calendar year. That's actually nuts.
I ain't never getting between a flyweight and his rent.
Never get in the way of a flyweight and his rent. Anyway, obviously we had breakout fighters. We've had new fighters this year. We've gone over both of them. but we got to start tipping the hat to the people that have been here, that have been doing good work, and that are, really just carrying the UFC at this current moment. So our next category is Male Fighter of the Year. And here are the nominees for Male Fighter of the Year. I have Alex Pereira on this list. Another good year for him. Started off a little bit then he went a little dark at the middle. Then at the end, he came back strong. So I still have to, and he's still one of the most famous fighters on the roster right now, and he's a big time champ. So 2-time champ now. Actually, 3-time if you want to count the middleweight strap. But 3-time champ in the UFC.
Whole time gotta put on that list.
Alex Pereira had to get put on the list because he is one of the biggest stars in the UFC right now. Next one's Islam Makhachev for I think the second year in a row that we have Islam Makhachev on this list. So because he's just continued dominance.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a generational talent, man. These Dagestanis. I don't know what the fuck's in their water, but there's something in that fucking water.
Vodka.
They're Muslim. They can't drink.
The lack of vodka.
Lack of vodka.
That's why he's so angry.
That's why he's so angry. Islam Makhachev has to be mentioned because not only did this guy defend his belt and solidify himself as the most accomplished lightweight champion this year with the most title defenses, surpassing Khabib, he also won a second belt in the UFC. He is now your current reigning defending welterweight champion. He's just going to do just as much damage up there as he did back at 155. So, definitely Islam Makhachev had to be put on this list for sure. And next up, Ilia fucking Topuria. For the second year in a row, Ilia Topuria is on this Male Fighter of the Year list. And, the dude is just undeniable. He is undeniable. He is just... I can't deny it any further. This guy knocks out my favorite fighters, but here's the fucking thing. He does it with such swagger every single time. It kind of makes you... It makes you hate him, but it also makes you really fucking appreciate him, too.
He leaves nothing to question. He puts his stamp on it. You know he won your favorite guy.
And on top of that, him going up to 155 this year, and then winning the 155 title, after winning the 145 and defending it against... Well, he won it off of Volk by knocking him out. Then he knocks out Max Holloway. Then he says, all right, I'm done with 145. Vacates that belt. He goes up to 155. He fights Charles Oliveira, who's coming off a pretty good win streak to this point, and fucking sleeps him round one. So, I mean...
Back tats on his back.
Oh,
it's a wrap.
Ilia Topuria, man, had another great year. I just wish he fought more this year. But, doesn't matter. This guy showed up. He's got a lot of personal things going on. I hope he gets that all solved out, and obviously we have an interim championship an interim championship fight going down in a couple of weeks, and I hope to see him come back, and I want to see that fight, whomever it might be, whether it's Gaethje or Pimblett. But Ilia Topuria, definitely worth mentioning. He was the number one pound-for-pound fighter for most of the year until Islam Makhachev won again, and he regained his spot as the number one pound-for-pound fighter. So Ilia Topuria, you had another good year, man. So that's why you're on this list. Also, guys, Merab Dvalishvili, this motherfucker, he fought 4 times this year, and he didn't fight nobodies at all. He didn't fight nobodies at all. He fought Umar Nurmagomedov, widely considered to be the biggest phenom of this division currently. The guy that we thought would take it from Merab, and then he just proceeded to beat him, pretty soundly. Then he goes against Sean O'Malley again, which nobody wanted, but...
No, Dana wanted.
Dana wanted, but which nobody wanted except for Dana, and then he destroyed Sean O'Malley for good this time. And then on top of that, then he comes back, he fights Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen had some moments, but he still beat the brakes off of him. And then obviously, last pay-per-view of the year, headlining it with Petr Yan, losing his belt ultimately, but man, that does not take away from the fact that Merab had a fucking killer year. So those are the nominees for your Male Fighter of the Year. Anthony, who are you going with?
Honestly, I really wanted to give it to Ilia, but I'm going to go with Merab.
Yeah, I am also going to give it to Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. That dude had a year, man. So, congratulations, Merab Dvalishvili, for once again being a total fucking savage and fighting 4 times this year and looking pretty good, besides with the exception of your last one, because you got... That was textbook work from fucking Petr Yan. If you guys watched that fight, that was just textbook, all rounds. I gave all 5 to Piotr Jan. I know a couple judges gave him like 2 or 1.
Yeah, there was only one round where I wasn't sure Jan had it. Other than that,
Yeah,
sweet.
that was such a good fight for Piotr Jan and Marab. To be honest, they actually went and put on a pretty good fight. So, but regardless, though, round of applause for Marab Dvalishvili for once again just being a total machine, as your name suggests. Can't wait to see you come back and what you do after that. I think the trilogy with Piotr Jan is like the answer right now, but we'll see. But yeah, that is our male fighter of the year. But of course, we can't just say male fighters of the year. We got to look at our women's side too. So here are their nominees for the female fighter of the year. We have first up on the list Valentina Shevchenko. Need I say more? Need I say more? The girl fought twice this year against 2 really good people. She fought Manon Fiorot, who beat every contender below her prior to going up against Valentina, and Valentina just made her look like an absolute amateur. And then on top of that, she also goes and fights Weili Zhang, which I thought was going to be a much closer fight on paper than it ended up being. She also made Weili Zhang look like an absolute fucking amateur,
Yep.
which that's even more impactful because nobody's beaten Weili Zhang down to 115. I can't see a world where anybody beats it. Even if, like, you know, obviously, I think right now Weili Zhang's going to move back down, try to get her belt back against Mackenzie Dern. I can't tell you with complete confidence that Mackenzie Dern wins that fight. So, I mean, I want to see it. But regardless, though, that was she was quite the fighter this year. She was quite the fighter this year, and man, she's 38 years old. You think she'd start slowing down by now? She's like at the fucking pinnacle of her skills right now, and she's 38, and she's already been in this bitch for 10 plus years. So, I mean, Valentina Shevchenko, you definitely need to be on this list. And I think this is your, I think, 3rd year in a row. I think I've always had Valentina Shevchenko as like a women's fighter of the year nominee at least.
Well, if she just didn't impress us, then she wouldn't be there.
So, I mean, Valentina, you definitely got a place on here. Next up, I have Manon Fiorot. I mean, despite the performance that she didn't like deliver against Valentina,
being able to.
But you still have to acknowledge how good of a fighter Manon is. I think she came back after that fight and won again. So, I mean, this girl is just the pinnacle of skill at 125. I think Valentina's just kind of got her number right now. But no doubt that Manon Fiorot is going to be back in title contention at some point in the future. So, I mean, she's got to build herself back up. She's already starting to do that, which is good. So, I mean, but still, Manon Fiorot is worth mentioning. She is just a very talented woman. And I'm always intrigued when she's fighting, even if she's fighting some of my favorite women on the roster. I still want to look back and I still want to watch her fight, you know? So Manon Fiorot definitely have a place on this list, for sure. Next up, I have Weili Zhang, guys, or Zhang Weili. I don't know exactly which way you put it. I think it's interchangeable. But, you know, regardless of, even though she got destroyed against Valentina, Weili Zhang is undeniable. I also think this is her 3rd year in a row of making Female Fighter of the Year list. So, I mean, can't forget, at the beginning of the year, she beat the number 1 contender at 115 in Talia Santos, whose wrestling prowess seemed to be a threat to Weili Zhang, but then Weili Zhang just proceeded to just out-wrestle her. So, I mean, that was still a really good win. Weili's still a great fighter. She just met up with somebody that she can't beat. Like, I think Valentina Shevchenko to Weili Zhang is what Amanda Nunes is going to be to Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko beats everybody except Amanda Nunes. And I think Weili Zhang beats everybody except Valentina Shevchenko. So that's just how it's going to be. And that's why she's on this list. And next one up is Kayla Harrison. I think this is her 2nd year in a row of being Female Fighter of the Year. And I think last year I gave her the award for Female Fighter of the Year, if I'm remembering correctly. So, I mean, Kayla Harrison had another good year. She's now the new bantamweight champion of the world. She's definitely, and within a year of her being here, you know, about a year of her being here, she got it done. You know, she beat up Juliana Pena, became the bantamweight champ, and now we're just waiting on her to fight Amanda Nunes, the returning Amanda Nunes, on the next pay-per-view. So, it's not a pay-per-view, Steven. It's a numbered event now. But I'm going to still call it a fucking pay-per-view.
Is that what they call them now?
Yeah,
Numbered
events?
Yeah. Numbered events, okay.
Yep. So, Kayla Harrison definitely had to make the list just for, being a savage, getting the bantamweight belt, and doing it in a dominant fashion. And plus, Kayla Harrison just never fails to impress me whenever she fights. So definitely worth mentioning her on this list. So without further ado, Anthony, who's your female fighter of the year?
I gotta give it to Valentina Shevchenko.
And I am going to do the exact same thing, man. Valentina Shevchenko, congratulations. You were unanimously voted the fucking female fighter of the year, man. You just had a good year, man. Like, Jesus Christ. And the fact that she's 38 years old and still doing it at this level with this much dominance is just actually, insane to me. So, definitely, Valentina, looking forward to what you do in 2026. I don't know what you have left to do in 2026, to be completely and totally honest with you. I don't know who's fighting you next. So, I mean, maybe I'm looking forward to see what you're doing, but I'm not expecting you back for a while because you've pretty much beaten everybody at 125. And I think everybody within the top 5 needs another win because they all lost to Mananfuro. So, I mean, that division is definitely a little backlogged right now. But we'll do that on a state of the weights for January 2026 when we do that in a couple weeks. So, for sure, though, definitely worth mentioning that giving the award to Valentina Shevchenko, man. You had a great year. Congratulations, Valentina Shevchenko, our 2025 Front Row Access Award winner for Female Fighter of the Year. All right, next up, everybody's favorite. The thing that keeps us coming back to UFC, because what do we want to see, guys? Let's be honest. We appreciate technical battles. We appreciate wars. We appreciate technical skills on the ground and submissions. But here, what the fuck do we want to see, guys? We want to see knockouts. We want to see people get hit so hard in the fucking head that they go unconscious for a couple seconds, couple minutes sometimes. So, Knockout of the Year, definitely one of my favorite awards to give out because it's the thing that keeps us all coming. It's literally the thing that keeps us coming. Like, we love everything else about the UFC, but man, we want to see those knockouts. That's what we all here for. That's what anybody... Don't let any of these weird-ass MMA people be like, well, I don't really care about knockouts. They're lying, first of all. Second of all, don't listen to them. We all know why people are here. So, Knockout of the Year. Got a couple good ones on here. I put together 4 of them that were pretty good. So, obviously the first one I got to do is Mauricio Ruffi in March of this year. Another fighting nerd. Spinning fucking hook kick to Bobby Green, just flat on the floor, just dead.
We love seeing Bobby Green go down.
We love seeing Bobby Green just die. So, and Bobby Green on the ground, unconscious. Beautiful. So that was definitely something that was on UFC 313 back in March. Mauricio Ruffi, and man, he held that knockout of the year potential since then. And it was in the first quarter of this year. Next up on the nominee list, Lerone Murphy over Aaron Pico. I mean, this one's a little bit of a personal one, to be honest with you, because everybody and their brother, I'm going to keep saying this till they rip my fucking tongue out of my head. Everybody telling me like a broken record. All my friends that watch the UFC, watch martial arts, oh, Aaron Pico. He's good, man. I'm like, nah. He ain't beating this motherfucker. He's not beating this dude. And then what happened on fight day, round 1, about 2 minutes in, fucking spinning elbow, Aaron Pico turned into Pico de Gallo. And I don't have to hear about Aaron Pico, man, anymore. So fuck all of you. I'm going to keep that over all of your heads. Lerone Murphy got an excellent knockout over Aaron Pico. And also, worth mentioning, Carlos Prates did a spinning elbow knockout prior to Lerone Murphy's, but it just wasn't as clean as Lerone's. So, and also, wasn't as prideful for me. There was a little bit of bias in making this list, but definitely great knockout for Lerone Murphy, all the way back at UFC, I think 317 that happened on, or maybe 318. It was one of the later pay-per-views, like middle of the year, maybe towards the end of the year, like summertime. But, regardless, though, Lerone Murphy's spinning elbow knockout over Aaron Pico, definitely worth mentioning here. Also, next on our list, man, this one was hard to watch, but I have to do it because it was just so meaningful for the fighter. Ilia Toporia's fucking brutal-ass knockout over Charles Dubronx Oliveira to secure the lightweight title. Oh, man, that was hard to watch, man, but...
Why does he keep knocking out our favorite guys?
Because that's just what Ilia Topuria does. So, He's like, I mean, I you can't deny it, man. You just can't. That motherfucker, you can't fake the knockout, dude. You can't fake that. You can't make up power. And man, Ilya Saporia has a lot of it. And man, that knockout over Charles Oliveira was definitely something to behold. It was a great knockout. Don't get me wrong. Charles Oliveira was out, and he was out for a while. And holy shit, I don't know what. I mean, Charles Oliveira's had his bounce back since then, but at the same time, man, oh boy, that was a knockout. That was a knockout, man, and it was definitely worth putting on this list because not only was it a really good knockout, it was a clean knockout over a legit guy, and it secured a second title and a second weight class for Ilya Taporia in just 2 years. This dude's done all this shit, not even like a year and a half, and just holy crap, man. But that was definitely worth putting on here. And the next one I have is Pereira's fucking blitz and onslaught of Ankalaev and eventually TKOing him in round one in the second Ankalaev fight. So Pereira and Ankalaev, that was just a satisfying knockout to see, man. It really was. So, like, Ankalaev, I mean, even us here at the Front Row Access Podcast didn't have much faith in Pereira going into this fight, but then, man, we were proven wrong, and thank God we were, because that was special, that knockout. Now I don't really know what happens for Pereira now. I mean, maybe Carlos Ulberg is next. I mean, Ulberg's coming off of a win, so maybe Carlos Ulberg's next. Plus, he's somebody that he hasn't fought yet. But you know, Pereira's knockout or TKO victory over Ankalaev in their second fight to secure the light heavyweight championship again. Definitely worth putting on this list. So, Anthony, what's your knockout of the year?
Honestly, caught between two of them. I think I'm gonna lean toward Pereira Ankalaev though.
The Pereira and Ankalaev knockout. That was thank you. Beautiful work from Alex Pereira on getting your belt back and making Magomed Ankalaev look silly in there. So that was actually an excellent knockout to get your belt back, but that is not what my knockout of the year was, guys. My knockout of the year is Mauricio Ruffy's spinning heel kick over Bobby Green, because that was just something to behold. So my Front Row Access award is going to go to Mauricio Ruffy for this year for, just pulling a spinning hook kick out of your fucking ass and just rolling with it, and then putting Bobby Green on his ass. That was the best part about it. But yep, that was the nominees. All of these knockouts were excellent. All of them were great. All of them were meaningful.
All of them are well worth watching again.
All of them are well worth watching again. So, congratulations to the nominees and our two victors in Alex Pereira and Mauricio. Now, what's the secondary thing that we always look for in the UFC? Especially from our more grappling-heavy base people, we love to see some slick submissions on the ground.
We really don't like seeing it go to judges.
No, it's going to the judges is just, I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, obviously, you can't control the result of a fight, but if you are able to finish a guy, whether it be knockout or submission, we're always here for it. And let's celebrate the thing that pretty much made the UFC, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and let's look at some top submissions that we have this year. I got 4 here for you guys. So, anyway, submissions of the year, we have Merab Dvalishvili's north-south choke over Sean O'Malley. That's just a submission you don't see very often, and it's very hard to execute, and you're hardly ever in a position where you can get it. And Merab Dvalishvili did it. So, that was also something, and that was just a really slick submission for Dvalishvili to really secure, I'm the better fighter over Sean O'Malley. I mean, we all already fucking knew that, but to show Dana White, I'm better than O'Malley. Fucking Dvalishvili went in there and north-south choked Sean O'Malley. And next one, I had Makhachev over Moicano. Now, this was just a simple Darce choke. Not simple, but, it was just a Darce choke from Islam Makhachev. But here's the thing, what was special about the Darce choke from Islam Makhachev. He is so good at the Darce choke, first of all. He's submitted so many people. He submitted Dustin Poirier with it. He submitted Renato Moicano with it. It's his favorite submission. He said it. And the reason why I put it on here was because that was the submission that made Makhachev the most achieved lightweight champion in history. more the significance of the submission than the submission itself. But still, seeing him just lace up Renato Moicano like that, who's also a jiu-jitsu-based fighter, is just kind of fun to see. It just shows how much of a talent, a generational talent, Islam Makhachev is. So, for those reasons, I put Makhachev's Darce choke over Renato Moicano on this list. Next up, though, this was just a fucking satisfying one to watch. Gene Silva going in there against Bryce Mitchell. This was fresh off Bryce Mitchell's whole, how we say it, his whole, without getting canceled, yeah, fuck it, his whole Hitler stuff.
Breakdown?
After his whole Hitler stuff.
Episodic breakdown?
Yes. Yeah, this was the first fight. Everybody did not want Bryce Mitchell to win this fight. John Silva knew that. I think it's actually pronounced John Silva, not Gene Silva. But John Silva did not. He knew that, and he went in there, and boy, he just choked him to bed. That was just a beautiful thing to watch. It was super satisfying seeing him go down like that, and I was like, yes, you know. So, fuck you, Bryce Mitchell. Thank you, John Silva. And lastly on our list, actually, I'm gonna add one more in there that might be more of an honorable mention than anything else. But before we go into that, our last nominee, special nominee, is Kayla Harrison over Juliana Pena. That Kimura was locked up like that, and Juliana Pena tapped like that. It was just clean. It was like the coming of age for Kayla Harrison and this new wave of women's MMA that's now hitting the bantamweight division. So this was like that crowning moment where you got Juliana Pena, whose notable win is over Amanda Nunes by fluke submission. Totally a fluke submission. It was proven in their second fight. But that being said, Kayla Harrison's Kimura over Juliana Pena is definitely worth a nice mention on here. Now, the one that I was doing an honorable mention for before we go into the winner, it's fuck. I lost it. God damn it. It was a good one too. Oh man. I can't believe I lost it. Alright, anyway, if it comes back to me, I'll let you know later on. Anthony, what's your submission of the year going to?
I got Kayla Harris.
Kayla Harrison over Juliana Pena. That was a very good
beautiful.
submission. It was beautiful. Down to the last minute detail. Very good job, Kayla Harrison, in securing your throne at the top of the bantamweight division. Now let's see if you can go up against the old queen that never technically lost her belt. She retired it, you know? So, looking forward to that. But my submission of the year is actually going to go to Merab Dvalishvili over Sean O'Malley. That fucking North-South show. I mean, this could just be me being a total jiu-jitsu nerd. And seeing a North-South choke in the octagon is just kind of fun. And it's not something you see often. It's creative. And definitely wanted to see that submission for sure. And, you know, these were great submissions, worth mentioning. I wish I had that honorable mention still in my brain, but I fucking lost it. I don't even remember what it was. But it was a good one. I can definitely tell you that it was a good one. But regardless, though, congratulations to the winners, Merab Dvalishvili and Kayla Harrison, for getting our submissions. Excellent job. Now, before we move on to our next category, I just want to go over a special moment that happened in the UFC this year. And, you know, everybody debuts in the UFC. Sometimes your debuts are really good. Sometimes they're not so good, you know? Especially if you're coming over from other promotions. Your debuts in the UFC typically aren't so good. Usually your debuts aren't so good. But this debut was definitely worth saying because it was just so clean. Quinlan Salkeld with the fucking head kick in round one that just sent the opponent straight to them. I can't remember the dude's name, but it was such a clean and a crisp knockout. I remember watching it live like, this kid did what? So definitely debut of the year is going to Quinlan Salkeld with that fucking head kick knockout. So congratulations to Quinlan for that one. You had the only uncontested position here. So I don't know, Anthony. You have any thoughts on Quinlan Salkeld's fucking knockout?
No, you know how I feel about when people come from different promotions. I feel they gotta prove themselves, and this was definitely a really good debut.
It was a fucking excellent debut. So.
Much better than Pico. Much better than Akumo. Was that guy? From
Kaya Sakura. Oh god, Sakura just looked like shit in there. But yeah, man, it was a good one. Congratulations, Quinlan, and welcome to the UFC. Anyway, this is a new category. I haven't really done this category before. We're going over the comeback of the year. You know, sometimes when fighters are down and out in the fight, we tend to, write their obituaries and say they're done. But sometimes, they just come out of nowhere and just end up winning the fight. Notable ones that come to mind would be Leon Edwards over Kamaru Usman, probably the most notable one in recent history. That one, it would be also Pereira against Adesanya in their first fight in May, when Pereira was down at least 4 rounds to none. At least 4 rounds to none to that point, and Izzy was well on his way to winning and beating Pereira, and then Pereira comes through and knocks him out. Those are a couple of good notable comebacks, but we had a couple of good ones this year. We only got 3 of them, but they're worth mentioning. The most prominent one, and guys, you guys remember this is on the biggest of stages. We have Yuri Prohaska's comeback against Khalil Roundtree Jr. Man, fucking home dude was getting pieced by Roundtree Jr. He was not looking good going into that 3rd round. But then,
Roundtree is fucking scary.
Roundtree is a scary motherfucker. I do not want to get in the fucking ring with that guy. I'm sorry. He's big. He looks mean. And the dude packs a terribly, terribly hard punch. I don't want to eat that. I'll probably die. So, definitely. But Yuri Prohaska in the 5th round, in like the last half of the 5th round, too, just decided to become Yuri Prohaska real quick and just balls to the wall. He made it a dogfight. And here's the thing with Khalil Roundtree. He can't really hang in dogfights all that well. If he's in control and he's the one that's landing the more significant strikes and he's the one that's leading the dance, he usually wins the fight. But here's the thing. When it becomes a dogfight, then it gets a little bit questionable for him. And then Yuri Prohaska says, fuck it, I'm already down 2 rounds. I'm just going to go at this motherfucker, and I'm going to see how it goes. And he proceeded to brutally knock him out against the cage. And he was, face first on the canvas. What a comeback from Yuri Prohaska. And that was just the most Yuri Prohaska fight of all time. Gets beat up for 2 rounds, 2.5 rounds, and comes back and knocks the other dude out.
He was letting him tire him out.
Oh my gosh, man. He blocked no punches, and he blocked all those punches with his face.
If he keeps throwing, he'll eventually get tired.
So, man, he just leaned on the toughness. He didn't really lean on the defense, and, man, he went out there like a fucking marauder and just got the finish. And, man, what a good comeback for Yuri Prohaska. Next up on the list, it would be Cody Brundage versus Marquez. Cody Brundage was winning this fight. For once, Cody Brundage was actually winning a fight. We love Brundage over here. Don't get us wrong. But Brundage, you don't really win a lot. We like you, man, but...
It's like the most skewed coin toss ever.
But he was beating that ass. And then Marquez just decided, you know what? Nah, fuck you. Came back and submitted him. I'm like, Brundage bit the dust again. I can't believe he's still in the UFC roster. He should have been cut by now. He probably will get cut if he loses again. Next one would be Almeida versus Alisson. Almeida was beating that ass. And then Alisson said, you know what? Nah, I'm all set. And then proceeded to knock out Jalen Almeida. That was a good time. So those are a couple of notable comebacks of this year. But I think we know what the top one was. I think Anthony and I have the same vote here. But Anthony, who's our comeback of the year?
I got Yuri for that.
Yep, me too. Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree, man. Jesus Christ. You guys, Yuri, you just went out there and had, the most Yuri fight ever. You really did.
I'm going to block it with my face, guys.
I'm going to block it with my face, and I'm going to wait till the last half of the 5th round, and I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, man. Yuri Prohaska, what a comeback. These other comebacks were worth mentioning, but it's also the reason why I put them on this list was to let you guys know to watch the fucking prelims. Because you never know when you're going to see something special.
Ooh, new category. Prelim match of the year.
We'll have to do that next year. We'll have to do that one next year. So, definitely, that was comeback of the year. Congratulations, Yuri Prohaska, and being the most chaotic Yuri Prohaska ever. Thank you, Yuri Prohaska, for being Yuri Prohaska. You got our comeback of the year award, and I made a whole new category just for you. So, good job, Yuri Prohaska. All right, guys, we got 2 left. 2 left, guys. I'm gonna finish this do. Give me another one.
Gotta re-up on the do. By the way, this is a good time to mention, happy 2026, guys.
Yeah, happy 2026, guys. I mean, 2025, that was a fucking...
It was a year.
That was a roller coaster year. I'll say it was a roller coaster year. Had a lot of ups, had a lot of downs. You know, it was 2025 for you. At least for me. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's how it was. But, yeah, 2026 is here. Got a whole new slew of fights that we get to watch.
Yep.
Can't wait to see
Paramount.
And on Paramount now, our wallets, thank you. Our wallets, thank you, MMA gods. We just have to pay, what is it, $60 a month?
Oh, no, I already have it.
$60 a month for Paramount Plus. And then now we get to watch all of our UFC fights, so thank you so much. But we have 2 left. And, man, what a good year for the UFC this year. We had a lot of good fights. We had a lot of good fights this year. But we
had a whole landscape change, really.
We really did. The UFC looks a lot different than it did when I started watching, for sure. And even when Anthony started watching, I had about a 2-year head start on Anthony. And now I could confidently say, since 2022, when you started, because your first matchup was the Ngannou and Gon, right?
Yep.
And then Ngannou and Gon, going from that to now, it's a very different UFC. It really is. That just goes to show how fast this sport moves and how much you just need to appreciate your big-time stars while they're there. I mean, mine is gone. So, I mean, but, you know, it's the nature of time. Things move on. People get old. You know, the sport evolves. And I'm always welcoming of the newcomers, even if it means death by fire to my previous favorites, which is what's been happening. These new generations of fighters have been putting out the people that I first started watching, and I don't want to say idolizing, but idolizing. You know, watching and idolizing back when I started watching all the way back in fucking 2020, in pandemic era, because I had nothing else to do. So there you go. But we had a lot of good fights this year. New landscape in the UFC, but there were a couple of fights that really stood above the rest. So here are our nominees for Fight of the Year. So Fight of the Year, man. God, we're starting this off strong. Joshua Van versus Brendan Royval on UFC 317. Dude, what a magical fight! This was the star-making moment for Joshua Van. He went up against Brendan Royval, whom we already know is at the top of his game right now. This dude is a legit guy, and I've even mentioned it multiple times on here. We're gonna see Brendan Royval fight for a belt again.
Oh yeah,
like 100%. We're gonna see him fight for a belt again. He lost to Pantoja when Pantoja was on his crazy run. Now, dude, the rematch door is wide open. Pantoja ain't gonna be back for a while. The dude broke his arm, so I mean, broke his arm or fucking pulled his shoulder. I don't know exactly what that injury was, but it was fucking bad. You know, so Pantoja ain't gonna be back for a while. But when he comes back, he's fighting for a title, and we know this. You know, I mean, he had a good reign, dude. You don't reign over a division and just look like $1 million every time for 2 years, and then expect to not get an immediate rematch once you're done recovering. So definitely, no matter what, Pantoja has a title fight in his next fight. But now it's kind of open for Royval and Van to go at it again. But regardless, though, the first fight between these two and the hypothetical second one that might happen this year, Josh Van and Brendan Royval, man, what a magical fight that was. I would say nobody really lost that fight.
Oh, no.
Like, Royval's stock might have dropped a little bit. I don't even think it dropped a little bit.
Yeah, the worst that was that Royval got shown a loss by a future champion.
Exactly. So, I mean, this was a good fight. I don't think either guy really lost a lot of stock. I mean, obviously, this was the skyrocket for Josh Van, but I don't think Royval lost it either, because Royval went in there like a total dog, and he kept hanging in there with them. He just got bested, you know, and that's just what happens in the fight.
Plus, I mean, it's also, the fact is, it was short notice, you know?
And it was short notice.
Royval wasn't preparing for Van, you know?
Yeah.
Van just happened to be able to make it.
Yeah, and yeah, because Royval was supposed to fight Manel Kape, I believe, and Manel Kape had to pull out of the fight, and then Josh Van said, I'm available. And then he went and proceeded to have a fucking banger of a fight with Brendan Royval. So anyway, Brendan Royval, Josh Van, great job, guys. Your dance was $1 million. Next up on our list, though, Piotr Yan and Dvalishvili 2. To be honest, the most recent main event, could be recency bias, but dude, that was a good fight. You know, like, that was a good fight. It's been a little while. It's been about a month-ish since it happened, like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
It's been almost a month since this fight happened, but man, that was a good fight. I mean, yeah, it was mostly Piotr Jan beating on Marab, but the fact that Marab still hung in there and still had some moments was kind of insane. It just shows the level of
Not to mention how well Marab took it at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. He handled it so gracefully. Like, everybody should just try to be like Marab as a class act, But Jan Dvalishvili too. That was a good fight. Now this next one, back and forth brawl that left me at the edge of my seat and fucking biting my nails the whole time. This was Diego Lopez and Alexander Volkanovski. Holy shit, what a fight this was. This was on UFC 314 back in April. And, man, both guys got hurt. Both guys got their moments. Diego Lopez nearly knocked out Volk in one of those rounds. He really did. Just like Volk nearly knocked out fucking Diego Lopez. These two just went to war in Miami. So, what a great fight between Volk and Lopez. And now we have part 2 coming up January 31st. If you guys didn't know that already. I mean, do I think we need to do an immediate rematch between Lopez and Volk? No, not really. But at the same time, I'm not mad that it's happening again. I knew this fight was going to happen again. I just didn't know it would be like the next fight both guys would have. I thought Diego would want to go back down and try to get a win over somebody. Then Volk would fight someone else. But
what that is, you said, what was this, March, you said?
April.
That's plenty of time has gone by, and you really got to think of the landscape of the division.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Holloway's gone, and honestly, he said he's been a bit of a letdown lately.
I mean, T-City's old, man. I mean,
but they really need some fresh change in the division.
I mean, Lerone Murphy's up there, but he got a win over somebody that was just debuting in a co-main spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's probably going to have one more.
He needs a more notable win.
Yeah, over.
And then he'd be able to go for a top 5 or even title, honestly, depending.
Yep. So, I mean, and just a lot of people within the top 5, Volk has already fought. So it's kind of tough to make matchups at 145 right now. So I could see why they made Lopez the guy again. And it was a close fight. It was a close fight, but man, Volkanovski ultimately edged out. I think he won 4 rounds to 1, or if it might have been 3 rounds to 2.
Yeah, I think it was. It was indecisive on exactly which rounds and how many were won.
Yeah,
so each ref had something different.
Nobody unanimously. Well, there was a unanimous decision victory for Volk, but it wasn't.
I thought Volk had third. You thought Lopez? No. I thought he had first, but it was like that.
It was like that. It was.
They couldn't really come to an agreement. They just knew that overall,
Volk won.
Was the winner.
Which he was the winner of that fight. But man, dude, this fight was also special. Volk's still up here. I think I've had Volk in. I think this is his second time in Fight of the Year because he didn't really fight a lot in 2024 after getting knocked out by Ilya Taporia. So, yeah. This is his second time in the Fight of the Year spot. And, what a fight, man. He came back and he meant business. And that's what happened. He got the belt back. A good night of fights. Next up, Yuri Prochazka and Khalil Roundtree. I mean, I know we just mentioned that in the comeback one, but man, that was just a good fight. Go back and fucking watch that fight, man. That was a special one. It really was. It was the most Yuri Prochazka fight of Yuri Prochazka fights for sure. And man, whenever you see Yuri Prochazka in the name of a fight, it's gonna be a banger.
It's gonna be good. I mean,
it's gonna be good. I mean, no matter what happens, it's gonna be good. So man, I just figured I'd mention it again. You're getting a Fight of the Year nomination because you fucking deserved it. That's why. We also have Jack Della Maddalena and Bilal Muhammad back in May when, JDM's underdog moment, underdog on top. Man, he went and put on a boxing clinic against fucking Bilal Muhammad, defending those takedowns when they were shot. And, man, he just outclassed him in the boxing, in the striking in general. Like, holy fuck. But it was such a good fight, though, because here's the thing. Even though JDM was clearly winning, Bilal still fought back. That made me give a lot more respect to Bilal Muhammad, too. Like, I clowning on Bilal Muhammad for having boring fights. His last 2 fights haven't really been that boring.
No, he's actually been spicing it up.
He's lost his last 2, but he's still had good fights both times. His fight against Jack Della was excellent. His fight against Ian Gary was amazing. So, I mean, fuck, dude. Jack Della Maddalena and Bilal Muhammad, you definitely get a notable, fucking notable mention here. You definitely get a nomination, so for sure. And last but certainly not least, because probably the last time I'm going to be able to do something like this, but our last nominee, but it was also just a good fight. Our last nominee for Fight of the Year, Dustin Poirier versus Holloway 3. Versus Max. This was a good fight. I mean, Dustin lost. He was like behind Max like by a second. But man, they still had they had a great fight. Like Max and Dustin are like star-crossed opponents. Like they fought each other at the beginning of their careers, at the prime of their careers, and at the end of one of their careers. So man, these guys have they always bring it. We love Dustin Poirier fights. We love Max Holloway fights. And this was the last time that I actually would be able to put Dustin Poirier in one of these because he's now retired. He's with his family. He's expecting another baby. So,
I think I know who's gonna get yours.
but this was the last time that I was able to actually nominate Dustin Poirier for something. And that being said, though, whose fight of the year going to?
Gotta say, the most impactful fight that was of this year for me was Royval Van.
Royval Van, man, that was a fucking great fight, dude. Actually, excellent. And they went in there and had an absolute banger. Now, guys, even though I said Dustin Poirier's last fight was a really good one, I am also going to give it to Josh Van and Brendan Royval. You guys fucking killed it this year. Absolute banger, and happy retirement, Dustin Poirier. So, yep. I know I made it sound like I was going to give it to him, but I wasn't. My point was just to do one more little nudge to Dustin Poirier.
It's okay. That's probably going to be a surprise at the end anyways.
Anyway, last but certainly not least, guys, while my computer's on its last legs, we're going to be getting this done, though. Event of the year. I know fight of the year is usually going to be everybody's last one. I thought event of the year would be. Because I think the events, first of all, you fucking pay for them. and second of all, this is when I think you see the real quality in the landscape of the UFC is, especially. The fight nights are impactful for sure, but the numbered events really show you what the UFC was like at this point in time. You go back and you watch UFC 212 or something like that, you're gonna see how the world was there. So I think the events are kind of surpass fights because it's kind of how does everything come together, And how does the UFC look right now? And the UFC looks great. But here are our nominees for Event of the Year. I have UFC 314 with Volk and Lopez. This was just a great pay-per-view. Lots of finishes, lots of good fights. You had Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler on here. You had a bunch of other really, really good fights for UFC 314. So, we're going to go over just a couple of them. Obviously, that was the main and the co-main event. But we also had Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull on this card, where Yair Rodriguez just said, "Fuck you, Patricio Pitbull. Go back to Bellator." Pitbull looked good in his next fight. But this was his debut, and that's how it went. Bryce Mitchell getting absolutely destroyed by Jean Silva. And then Nikita Krylov getting absolutely knocked out by Dominic Reyes magic. Because this was when Dominic Reyes was still magical at this time in his career resurgence. I don't know what he's going to look like now. But we also had Dan Ige and Sean Woodson on this card. We also have Jan Xiaonan and Werner Jandiroba. This was Jandiroba's time to break out against a person that went tooth and nail with Weili Zhang, and she succeeded. Now we have Jim Miller getting outclassed by Chase Hooper. And,
of course, being on another pay-per-view.
It was in a prelim, though. And then we had Julian Erosa and Darren Elkins. That was a good fight, too. And, yeah, this was overall just a good fight. Mitch Raposo getting fucking robbed in the early prelims, too. So that was UFC 314 in Miami. Our next one was UFC 317. This one was International Fight Week. This was Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. And boy, did it deliver. This was Ilia Topuria's crowning moment, obviously. He knocked out Charles Oliveira 2.5 minutes into the fight. And we also had Alessandro Pantoja getting a good submission over Kai Kara France in round 3. Also on this card, you had our Fight of the Year winner, Brendan Royval and Joshua Van. On this card, you also had Beneil Dariush fighting to a decision and getting a victory over Renato Moicano. You also had Peyton Talbot showing up and being Peyton Talbot against Felipe Lima, another surging contender at the time. This was Peyton Talbot's bounce back fight after getting destroyed in his last one. We had RoboCop get a win over Hermanson here, and we have Vivian Araujo's retirement fight against Tracy Cortez. So, overall, UFC 317 International Fight Week was excellent, so they got a nomination. Now, also on this list, we have UFC 319, I believe I put on here, which was Dracus du Plessis and Hamzat Chimaev. Now, the main event was a snooze fest, obviously, but think about everything else that happened on this card. You had back-to-back spinning elbow knockouts, Lerone Murphy and Carlos Prates. And then you also had Jared Cannonier and Michael Page. Michael Page getting a really good win over Jared Cannonier here. And then Tim Elliott and Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott, once again, showing that he's still here and showing Kai Asakura why he's a fucking bitch. And even on the prelims, it was all finishes down the line, I'm pretty sure. It was, yup. And then Chase Hooper getting owned by Alex Hernandez. That sucked. But, overall, UFC 319, other than the main event, was actually a solid event on paper. You also have UFC 320 rather, which was Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. Merab getting a win over Corey Sandhagen, Yuri Prochazka and Khalil Roundtree. Youssef Zalal getting one over Josh Emmett. And Joe Pyfer getting one against Magomedov Abusapayan Magomedov. So, putting a daggy in their place. So, very good job. I'm just going to check something real quick. Just want to see how much we got left. 33 minutes. Yeah, we're good. All right, so UFC 320, definitely worth mentioning. And then our last, but certainly not least, UFC 322 going down to Madison Square Garden, man. Islam Makhachev becoming a two-weight. The main and co-main events was snooze fest, obviously. But everything else on the card was great. Islam Makhachev just showed his continued dominance. Jack Della Maddalena looked like a wounded animal in there, like a lost child.
Kind of what I expected.
Jack had a great moment against Bilal Muhammad. He's the most unlikely champ to become a champ. But then, then you go up against the Terminator. And ultimately, you subside. Valentina Shevchenko just continued dominance over Weili Zhang, making Weili Zhang look like just another flyweight contender, other than the second greatest women's fighter on the roster right now. So you also have Sean Brady getting knocked the fuck out against Michael Morales. Michael Morales, this was his star-making moment for sure, knocking out a legit guy in Sean Brady. Sean Brady's in his prime right now. He's young, in contention. Michael Morales is also young, but he just went in there and just destroyed him. What else happened on this card? We had Carlos Prates knocking the fuck out of Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards had a great first round, but man, Carlos Prates, you can't fuck with that Prates power, man. That Prates power is something else. And also we have Benoit Saint-Denis just wrecking fucking Beneil Dariush in 16 seconds. That was just a star-making moment for, even more than a star he already is. Benoit Saint-Denis up there now. That Poirier fight did a lot for him.
Oh, yeah. Continue. You can keep going.
Okay, and we also have Bo Nickel getting a win and the knockout. We have Roman Kopylov getting beat by Gregory Rodriguez. And we also have Aaron Blanchfield getting a submission over Tracy Cortez. That was a good one. Malcolm Wellmaker getting the come from with all the hype behind him, losing to this Ethan Ewing guy. So, what a good fucking fight. These are all the nominees, and I don't know what you're writing down there.
That's fine. Who you got for it? I'll go first. I got 317 for that.
UFC 317.
Yeah, International Fight Week. It just did so much. Honestly, it showed us where flyweight's going. It showed us exactly what Poirier's packing. It showed us that there are special moments, especially during International Fight Week.
And guess what, guys? UFC 317 gets the victory for me, too. This was actually a wonderful reflection of what the UFC looks like right now. This was the spectacle. This was the landscape-changing card, for sure. You saw some known favorites on there. All of these events were great.
Oh, yeah.
First of all of these events were actually phenomenal. But it's this one was really a show. This was a showcase for where the UFC is right now and where it's going to go. So definitely, congratulations, UFC 317 International Fight Week. I think the second year in a row, International Fight Week got the fight card on the show. So, what a great event. And then also, we have one last one here from Anthony, who penned it in moments ago. We have Retiree of the Year. We have, let's see, we have King of Rio on here. Vivian Araujo retiring. King of Rio retiring. Jose Aldo, Dustin Poirier's retirement.
I think also didn't Cruz retire officially?
Yep, Dominic Cruz retired. John Jones retired this year.
He's not on the list.
But he's not on the list. But overall, guys, retiree of the year. That's fucking Dustin Poirier, man.
Dustin
the Diamond Poirier going out with one of the best retirements that I think I've ever seen the UFC do for anybody.
I think that's the best way a fighter can go out.
I mean, yeah, sure, he didn't win the fight. He didn't need to win that fight, though. He already won, in a way. You know, this dude had such a great retirement. He got to retire in his home state of Louisiana.
On his terms.
On his terms, not letting the sport retire him, rather him retiring from
not
the
letting
sport.
Injury do him, and
yep, not letting.
Decided,
I'm done. And then Dustin Poirier going out in one of the best ways that a man could possibly go out in. He had a great fight against Max Holloway. He just looked a little bit slower, and you could tell it was Dustin's time to go, for sure. And because he probably would have gone on a giant losing streak after this, to be completely and totally honest with you. Another honorable mention that I want to give was Justin Gaethje this year. You had an excellent fight against Rafael Fiziev. I didn't put that in honorable mention for fight of the year. And I did not remember that submission of the year. That didn't quite fucking make it in here. But anyway, guys, that's the Front Row Access Awards for 2025. UFC did good this year. I don't know. I don't got nothing else. Tune in for UFC 324, Gaethje Pimblett, and we gonna see if this Paddy Pimblett hype is really a thing. Anyway, so I don't know. Congratulations! One more last round of applause for all of our winners. You guys did awesome. And with that being said,
catch you next time.
Catch y'all next time.